And welcome to the latest edition of the Sportswriters podcast. Today we will be talking about the Winter Throwdown, kind of a throwback to the River City Shootout. And joining me today, to my immediate right, is Peoria High Athletic Director Brien Dunphy. And to his right is Gale Johnson, the founder of Peoria Area Elite AU program and sponsor of the shootout. So thanks for joining me, guys.
Thank you for the invitation.
So I kind of referenced it already, but the River City Shootout used to be a long-standing shootout or tournament that I think was held at Manual. Correct me if I'm wrong. But you guys are trying to bring that back and build some excitement to Peoria basketball. So what's kind of the goal this weekend and kind of the scope of how all this has come about?
The goal this weekend would be just to bring the atmosphere back to Peoria. Again, like Aaron said, from the River City Shootout. I miss that, and I think the Peoria people miss that here. It was a great shootout for the area, and we're just trying to bring really good matchups and good positive environment to the area and try to get the fans out, and try to give them some good matchups on a Saturday night and bring some good exposure to Peoria High School.
It's going to be a great event for players. This year we added a sophomore component, so 10 good sophomore teams are going to get a great audience and a great school and show off some wonderful basketball. Last year we hosted 8 varsity only, and we had a great time. This year adding the sophomores is going to showcase a lot more players.
Yeah, I know it's one of the new additions from last year, which was kind of the rebirth of this whole shootout idea in Peoria. What are some of the other changes that you're trying to make this year?
Just like Brian said, just the addition of the sophomore games. We thought that was kind of unique to the area, and a lot of the kids played both sophomore and varsity in our area. So again, we're just trying to bring something different for the fans, just give them a good reason to come out and see a lot of good student athletes.
Obviously this weekend's going to feature a lot of local teams, but also some very good programs statewide, including Springfield Southeast, who just won the Springfield City tournament against Lanphier on Saturday. How did you guys go about, choosing some of these matchups and some of these teams to come in and play?
The matchups, I kind of watch those guys. I watch all the schools pretty much year round, so I'm pretty locked in on who the juniors and freshmen and seniors are of the class. But again, it's just Brian and I, we want to bring the exposure back to Peoria. Peoria is a legendary town, legendary school, and we just want to kind of get the fans out again. I'm from the good old days where Manual Central games used to draw 5,000 to 6,000 people. That was great for our city. We're trying to do that again.
The good thing about Peoria basketball coaches is they want to play good opponents. And following the River City Shootout format, we took Manual, Richwoods, Peoria High, and Notre Dame and found them opponents back in the day. The shootout ended in 2013 due to high costs. But Gale and I took pretty much the same format, tried to find those teams, the best opponents that we could find for that weekend. And not every team is available every Saturday, but we found some good opponents this year. Now, Notre Dame chose not to participate this year. We hope to get them back next year. They're actually going to play Quest that weekend, and they enjoyed the matchup so well that they decided to have it in their home gym, and I don't blame them. But again, bringing in Mount Zion and MacArthur and perennial good teams is filling that void.
Both of those two have kind of gotten off to slow starts this year, but they're finding their groove. They're hitting their stride. I think they're both on 4 or 5 game winning streaks.
Definitely. Yeah, I'm excited to see Southeast play. I haven't seen them play. I know they're just coming off their city championship. I hear those guys are fast and in your face, and that's the basketball we like here in Peoria. So we're excited to have them.
What are some of the other teams that you're kind of looking forward to getting a chance to see and compete against some of the Peoria area schools?
Sure. Obviously a good one for me to see is Washington versus Manual. That could be a regional or a sectional matchup. So again, that's a good matchup that our city area, they're probably going to want to see that. That game doesn't happen very much. I like the Southeast Metamora game. That's 2 totally different styles, 2 totally, different type of coaches. So it's going to be a good game for the fans. They play both styles.
I'm looking forward to see Richwoods play again. Yeah. The Lions beat Richwoods at Richwoods, and we played one of our better games of the year. And I know Richwoods started the year really, really well and strong, and seeing them against an athletic East Moline team is going to be one of the highlights of my morning.
Yeah, Richwoods was 7-0, I think, to start the year, and then now they're 4-8 in their last 12, so they've kind of hit that midseason grind. But that East Moline team is kind of on a rebuild or reload, maybe I should say, after losing Trey Buchanan last year, who was one of the most impressive scorers I had seen statewide. That's definitely something that's going to be fun to watch for me. MacArthur seems to be kind of a fun watch this year with the Brummett brothers, don't they?
Yes, yeah, those guys are exciting. They played last year and they brought a show last year, so yeah, we're thankful to have those guys back, and their team's going to be on the up and up here in the second half of the season.
Sterling also is an interesting team, a Final 16, Sweet 16 team last year, and the father of the head coach at Sterling is an old friend of mine, so happy to see people that I know and doing well.
Yeah, and Ryan Vasquez, I think, has his guys playing well. I think they've won, let's see, check my notes, 5 of their last 6. They won the Notre Dame Regional last year.
Sure.
And I think they lost to Washington in the sectional semis, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, they won the game at our shootout last year, too.
They did.
Yeah, they played really good.
Well-coached athletic team, and they were young last year, so I expect even bigger and better things out of the Warriors.
Yeah, and I think football may have slowed them down to start the year, but they probably have their basketball legs come 2018. I know last year you guys kind of did some different entertainment in between games or at halftime. What do you have planned for this year?
We've toned it down a little bit. There were some unusual entertainment aspects in 2017. This year we really tried to get visiting teams' bands and cheerleaders to perform. Unfortunately, it's also a cheer competition weekend, so even the Lion cheerleaders, who are fantastic and do well in state competitions, will not be able to perform. But a few athletic directors, now as we're getting closer to the event, are letting me know that their cheer team is going to come, and hopefully we'll get them to perform at halftime. We don't have anything unusual. Some local dance groups, we've reached out to them and hope they bring some younger kids and give them a chance to dance in front of the big audiences.
Yeah, it's kind of really just a kind of an event to highlight all high school students then, isn't it?
Absolutely.
You guys just hosted a big cheer competition, the Big 12 cheer competition this past weekend.
We did. Our cheer coach, Gina Daly, is the best in the state, and wonderful event. If you've never been to a cheer competition like a conference, Big 12 conference championship, it's really something to see, and there was a huge crowd. We had bigger crowds for a cheer competition on a Saturday than we did for a basketball game on a Friday.
We're going to change that.
Yeah, let's hope so. That's the hope. Hopefully it's a bigger crowd tonight with Central Emmanuel playing.
Yes.
Yeah, looking forward to tonight as always. We enjoy hosting everything. Peoria High is a really busy, full-service school.
Yeah, I was going to say you're busy. What did you tell me? What was that, last Saturday? You've been at the school for, 21 out of 22 days or something like that?
Counting this Saturday, we'll play 10 games on Saturday. We have 35 home games in 20 days.
Wow.
At Peoria High. Often that's both gyms going at the same time. Often two different sports going at the same time, and I run a lot of miles between.
You are a saint.
It's part of the job, and I'm not special. Every athletic director in the state runs the same miles.
Oh, I'm without a doubt. I'm grateful for those who put their hard work in, especially to help the kids out. Gale, I know obviously you have a lot of AAU connections, especially with Washington and Manual and some of these other games. Who are some of the players to kind of watch for in the shootout?
Manual, I mean, there's kids down there. Rolando Brown, his nickname is Pee Wee. Deontay Brown. just pretty much, Manual's just, they're always going to have athletic guys. They're going to come hard. Central's got 2 phenomenal players. One's a sophomore, is Chris Williams. He plays for me. He's had a great summer, so look good things from him. The other one is Cortez. He's an athletic guy, exciting guy. He hit a last-second shot last year at our tournament last year and just set the crowd off. So look for good things from him. Obviously, Washington has Adrian Ware and their big boy Adrian and the big boy in the middle, JJ.
Who just got a scholarship offer from Illinois for football today.
Yes, yeah, he is. He's racking them up with football offers for sure. He's a great kid, great family. Rich Woods, Dallas, Dallas Bryson, he's a big guy out there. He's very talented. Jalen Jose, there's just a lot of players in Peoria area. There's, Peoria is a mecca for basketball, and I think they're just going to keep bringing players up one after another.
How much do your AAU connections kind of help get some of those teams here and kind of have an idea of who will be good, or maybe a couple years down the road?
Sure. Yes, they help tremendously. That's where it all starts, is in the summer, to be honest with you. All these coaches, they have summer teams. So, yes, I'm out there. I'm traveling with the teams, pretty much all through the Midwest, making connections and trying to get teams to come back to Peoria because, again, we're trying to bring the exposure back to Peoria.
What is kind of your vision for the shootout or this tournament or whatever, going forward?
Sure. The vision going forward with Winter Throwdown is just keep having great matchups. I want to keep it small. I want to keep it one day and just have better matchups each year. And Brien and I, we might have something coming down the road where we might do something with a larger tournament at Peoria High School. So I feel Peoria High School is a great venue. It's dead smack in the city. It's legendary. Everybody knows where it's at. They have 2 great gyms, great staff. So, again, we're just, my goal is to bring exposure, bring the people back out, get the fans back out, because there's tremendous basketball players in this area.
We're open to all ideas. We've talked about adding some girls' games. We don't want to lose the sophomore games, though. So I think we're going to feel this year out, talk to the coaches, especially the visiting coaches, and see how they like the varsity sophomore format, see if attendance goes up, since fans are going to get to see their kids play twice, sophomores in one gym and varsity in the other, and just go from there, do what's working.
I really like the atmosphere idea of bringing in the bands and the cheerleaders and the dance teams, because it kind of, I don't know, to me, when I think of that, I'm thinking, okay, NCAA tournament where the pep band show, travels from Michigan State to St. Louis or Illinois to wherever. So I think that's really cool. But what other entertainment aspects would you consider going forward, or is there anything? I know you're an open book, but is there any ideas?
I'm not real sure. I mean, Brien, he's probably the guy that's more charging that. We want to keep it family oriented. We want to, my thought maybe is to kind of fill up the foyer maybe with some, not a trade show, but just some vendors out there that help the area, help kids, stuff like that. So we might fill up the foyer maybe with some advertisers someday. But other than that, that's about it.
I've been to a lot of games in a lot of different places, and we've seen, tumblers and magic acts and all kinds of things. I think the key is to keep it on the basketball players. Let the focus be on the hardworking officials and Peoria High. But again, any good, inexpensive idea to keep
bring it our way.
The half times entertaining would be something I would look at.
Well, I'm just going to run over these kind of matchups in the schedule. I have the varsity ones. I think you probably have the JV ones that you can fill in afterwards. Sure. But so it's this Saturday, January 27th, and first game tips off at 1 o'clock. What time do the doors open?
Sophomore game actually is the kickoff. And the sophomore game and varsity games, for the most part, we had one complication, but they overlap by 1.5 hours. So the Metamora and Southeast sophomore game is the opener, and that's at 11:30, and all the doors will open at 10:30.
Okay. So there you go. It opens at 11:30. Or the tournament opens at 11:30.
Yes.
The Metamora versus Springfield Southeast game is at 1 p.m. Again, big weekend for the Redbirds. Could take control of the Mid-Illini with a win against Morton on Friday, and then come back and battle I guess, Springfield's best.
Yeah.
Springfield Southeast at 1 p.m. And then East Moline and Richwoods follows. Also, all games in the Lions then for varsity, right?
Yes, varsity games are going to be in the big gym, which holds 2,800, give or take. So we need 2,800 people for all the games.
Yes.
And the sophomore games are in the complex gym, which is a great, cozy venue. We call it the Cage. You put 700 people in there, and the sophomores are going to feel like they're playing in front of an NBA crowd.
So yeah, Richwood says East Moline at 2:30, and then you guys are gonna shut the doors, clear the gym. So I guess explain how you can get tickets and the different ticket package options since you're doing a couple sessions.
Sure. There's 2 sessions. Like Brian said, the first session starts at 11:30. The price is $8 for an adult and $6 for a student. Or we have an all-day price if you want to hang out all day. It's $15 for an adult and $10 for a student. And that's it. We'd like 2,800 people to show up.
So then, yeah, the 2 sessions are broken up, I guess. The 2:30 Richwoods game, there will be a stoppage after that, clear the gym, and then Peoria High and Sterling will tip things back off at 5 o'clock. And then Decatur, MacArthur, and Mount Zion will follow that. And then the primetime game of the night, I guess, so to speak, Washington and Manual and Orange and Black, Mid-Illini Big 12 showdown.
Sure.
8 p.m.
8 p.m., yep. That's going to be a good game. They're all going to be good games.
Yeah, definitely something I look forward to. I was there last year. I remember, as you mentioned, the Cortez Mosley shot and really just the story about his mom. And
yes.
She had just been shot, I think, the night before or morning. Sure. And he was very emotional just talking with him after that. And it was his first three-pointer of the year. All season he had not hit one, and then he wins a game with a three-pointer.
Great to see. Great to see for Cortez and his mom.
Yeah, and so it should be another fun day of games, and just hopefully would love to see people out there and kind of support Peoria basketball again. Is there anything else you guys feel like people should know?
Nope.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you for having us, Aaron. Appreciate it.
Thanks for joining me. I appreciate it. Special thanks to Matt Dayhoff, producing the podcast behind the scenes, clicking all the buttons, and setting all this stuff up. Please subscribe to the Journal Star. You can go to pjstar.com, and then there's a big red button that says subscribe. You can click that and support us, support the paper we put out, support the sports section, the news section, whatever it is that you get the paper for. Support the ads or the coupons that you get. We greatly appreciate your support. Until next time, I'm Aaron Ferguson, and we're signing off.
Thank you.